how are you doing? Welcome to another episode of Football Digest, where we get to eat, sip, sleep football and then repeat all over again. My name is Nyaassh as always, and today I'm joined by one Chelsea fan, the second Chelsea fan to ever feature on Football Digest. His name is Mike. He's going to tell us what he does. What's up, Mike?
Yeah, I'm very good.
Ambia mafans unafanyanga nini ndio wakujue kidogo?
I'm a forensic guy.
You're a forensic guy?
Yeah.
Besides that, when he as a Chelsea fan, when you're a Chelsea fan, since when?
Back in 2003, 4.
2003?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a long time.
A very long time.
That's a long time. I think that's before I even started supporting Arsenal. Nilianza kusupport Arsenal around 2004 huko 2005, but that's good. So nataka tufanye preview ya game week 11. I think itakuwa game week 11 of the Premier League. So we share sentiments on what we think will happen and why, and maybe we can try and come back here sometime next week so that we can do a review of exactly what transpired. All right? Yeah. So that involves basically doing some predictions.
Yeah.
All right? So out of 10 tutaona mwenye alipata mingi. So we try to make it happen next week tupatane hapa.
Yeah.
All right? So I'll get right into it. First game this weekend is between AFC Bournemouth and Manchester United.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen here?
I think those are two teams that can match each other's strengths. Not looking at names, not considering Manchester United, the Manchester United that we have, that perspective of Manchester United.
Yes.
The players right now at Manchester United. If Bournemouth bring their A game, then it's a game that they can manage, especially bearing the fact that they are at home.
They are at home,
Yeah, so for me, I think Bournemouth, the way I see and watch Bournemouth play, they are very possessive and they like to move the ball on the ground. It's unlike Manchester United, which likes to sit back and counter-attack. So to this extent, Manchester United has an advantage that they can counter Bournemouth because Bournemouth will have to expose itself, bearing in mind their style of play.
Yes.
But if Bournemouth can manage the ball very well, then they stand a chance
of doing something.
Ukiangalia
waseka Man United, they have been on a very good run of form. Well, 3 games. They have won, I think, 3 games in a row. They beat you away at Stamford Bridge. They beat Norwich City at Carrow Road. Previously, I think they had a Europa League match where they won. They also had another game where they won during last weekend. The previous weekend.
The previous weekend?
The previous weekend I think walikuwa wamedraw na Liverpool.
Yeah.
So basically they have been having a good outing for Premier League. Do you think they'll be encouraged by that when they're going to face a Bournemouth side that has not been as prolific as we expected to be? Especially they are away from side, it may improve.
Personally, let's look at the two teams in context. Manchester United, the games that it has won, one is a Europa League match. Exactly, right?
Yes.
The next is against Norwich.
Yes.
And this other one is in the League Cup against Chelsea.
Chelsea, yes.
Yeah? The Europa League match was against a team, a team from a league that is weak. Exactly. And usually all English teams are, whether they play team A or B, they are basically strong against teams from weaker leagues.
Yes.
The next game was against Norwich. Norwich play their own style. Their coach is funny because he doesn't consider, for instance, the strength of Manchester United. Even if Manchester United was not doing well previously, before meeting Norwich at that game.
Yeah. So they just go with their own style and they stick to it.
Yeah, and which exposes themselves.
Yeah.
The game against Chelsea played a weak squad. Manchester United generally fielded a much stronger squad, the first team squad.
Yeah.
So you see, bearing that in mind, you can analyze and say maybe it's time to be a bit hesitant in thinking that Manchester United is doing very well.
Yeah.
Give it maybe the next 5 games in the league games.
In the league, yeah.
Yeah, so that you can gauge how they will perform in the league.
Na ukicheki kwa league actually, well, hawajakuwa wakipigwa.
Exactly.
In the last 3 games, the last 3 wakapigwa na Newcastle, wakadraw na Liverpool, wakapiga Norwich. So this one is also maybe going to be a determinant of exactly where they stand
in the league.
Yeah.
When you watch Bournemouth, Bournemouth it started very well on a very high note, but in the last, I think, 3 games or 4 games, I don't think it has won a game.
They have not been convincing.
Their mojo is, I think
imeshuka kidogo.
Yeah. So for me, that match is, that's why I say that match is, it's a match that is even to both teams.
Yeah.
I think the most big thing will be the tactical approach of the coaches.
Ukiangalia, okay, mimi naangalianga like Bournemouth, moving forward, attacking wise, wana very good guys.
They are very good.
Kina Callum Wilson,
Very dangerous.
Ryan Fraser, Josh King. Maybe there's a chance now to come through, especially wakiwa home. At least wapatie mafans kitu juu wamekuwa quite poor.
I'm sure even the Bournemouth players have that in mind. They think it's our chance to kickstart the league again.
And there's no better way of kickstarting than beating Man United.
Manchester United, yeah, because of the name.
Yeah.
Not even the players on the pitch, the name
Because
itself.
of the name.
Exactly.
True.
Yeah.
So if you had to give a prediction of this game, what would you give?
I would give it a draw.
What kind of draw? 1-1, 2-2?
1-1 or 2-2.
1-1 or 2-2?
Yeah. No more than two goals for each team.
Yeah.
Because you see, both teams have had a problem scoring.
Yeah.
Except the Norwich match where Manchester United scored.
Yeah.
In the previous matches, it has been an issue. So the maximum goals, I think Manchester United can score Bournemouth. Because Bournemouth, they are good in the league. They know the league well. So I think it's 2 goals. No more than 2. And Bournemouth can also score 2 goals against
They can
Manchester
also score.
United. Yeah.
Itakuwa game tricky, by the way.
Exactly.
Itakuwa game tricky. For me, if I was... I'm trying to shelve aside my hatred for Man United, be as impartial as I can.
Yeah.
I think Man U watakula 2-1.
They'll win 2-1.
I think Martial is back. Rashford is scoring goals. I think they will concede, but I think overall watashinda.
So you have to bear in mind that even the Bournemouth coach, Ed Howe, he considers that Rashford is back, Martial is back.
Yeah.
So obviously, he wouldn't just go there to expose himself.
But, clinicality-wise, I think...
Bournemouth is more clinical than Manchester United.
Is it?
Yeah. Because Manchester United has been scored. If it's against Chelsea, they just scored a penalty and a free kick. Against Norwich, they only scored, I think, they were given 2 penalties, right?
They were given 2 penalties.
Yeah?
Yeah.
One was a counter-attack, So unless it's a counter-attack, that goal was a counter-attack. And I think in the first half also, there was 1 goal which was a counter-attack. So unless it's a counter-attack phase, it's very hard for Manchester United to score.
Okay, I'll change that. I'll go for a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, sure,
I'll go for 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
Alright, hapo umeniingiza box.
But maybe it's because of your hatred for Manchester United.
There must be some bits of it that has influenced that decision. Alright, then we have these other games. Actually, games nowadays, they're kicking off like an hour later, unlike previous time, because of the time frame may change. So we have several games at 6 o'clock. Let's start with one that is involving Arsenal and Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yeah.
Itakuwa tricky sana.
Hii sasa ndio ngumu zaidi.
Ndio
kwangu. Even if Arsenal is playing at home. Because Wolves is a team that has built this mentality of handling the big teams.
Yes.
Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea. You see this.
The only one team maybe I'm struggle now in Liverpool.
Liverpool, obviously. Yeah. Liverpool, it's very hard to beat Liverpool.
Yes.
You know that.
Yeah.
But these are the big teams, except Liverpool. And by then, mark you, Liverpool hasn't lost to a weaker opposition in I don't know how many games.
I don't
a team that's weak.
Yeah.
Or below, let's say, a team that is usually below the top 6. The usual top 6 that we know about.
Yeah.
It hasn't lost. So that's something to consider. But in this game, Arsenal vs Wolves, I think this is the test of the balls from Arsenal players.
For Unai Emery.
Exactly. Does he have the balls to approach this match and get out a win? That is the question in mind.
Let's just delve a little bit and talk about Arsenal has issues right now, like 1,001.
Yeah,
let's talk about one issue that has been, talked about and publicized, the Xhaka issue. What's your take on the Xhaka issue? As a Chelsea fan?
As an outsider.
As a footballing person.
Yeah, as an outsider and a football fan, I think Arsenal fans and Xhaka were all wrong. And the way the manager handled that, for me, like we were talking before, is that it's generally a sign of a coach who is weak, who is almost losing the dressing room.
Yes.
One more thing, then he'll lose it. Because if you see a player having the courage to, throw the captain band down and telling his fans to fuck off, and then you analyze the way the manager handled that situation, you see that he's almost losing it. So for me, I think it's a very, very, very sad affair. It's something that's unusual in football. Because, when you're a team, there's that hierarchy of leadership. The manager, the captain, the vice captain, then the other players, academy players. There's that hierarchy.
Yes.
But in this case, you see that there's lack of leadership from the manager himself in the football pitch. When those guys are 11 on the green, the manager himself doesn't express the type of leadership qualities that lets players know that he's in control. So I think Unai has to change a bit in the way he manages his players.
Yes.
And also look for someone of which it's very hard because that Arsenal team, if you look at it and you try to name a captain yourself as a fan, me as a fan, it's hard.
Ningumu.
Ningumu sana.
Getting a captain at Arsenal is honestly difficult.
Yeah.
But I think for me, the ultimate show of Unai Emery's weakness in man management, there are many. Of course, there's the Ozil issue, which has been talked about a lot.
Exactly.
But for me, one thing I've come in retrospect, nimekuja kuona ni him having 5 captains, and having 5 captains and telling players like, yo, go and choose who you think should be the captain. I think for me as a coach, you can do that in your first season in a club, but in your second season, I mean, come on, in the second season, you know almost everything about, not almost, you know everything about these guys, the ones you're dealing with. You know the one who is a leader, you know the one who's not. So you basically just go and say, I have chosen you as my captain because of A, B, C, D, in case anyone has issues. And then you go and pick your vice captain. Na hiyo story inaisha hivyo. But having 35 captains in a squad, I mean, ni wapi uliwaisikia kitu kama hiyo?
I think, let's say he's just lost for choice, just like we are. Because
Or is he trying to please people, or is he trying to please the management? What is he trying to do by having 5 captains? That is unheard of.
You know, personally, I think if he didn't have an issue with Ozil, Ozil would make a very good captain. Not because he's assertive or he's a leader per se, leadership, the type of leadership you have in mind, that perspective, but because of his experience.
He's the most experienced Arsenal player right now.
A guy who has played in a Champions League winning squad, that's the point. His experience beats everyone else. If he would maybe have been in good terms with Ozil and then nurtured, he would have made the best captain.
He would have been, if not the captain, maybe the vice captain.
Exactly.
The vice
but
captain.
You see now, because of his poor man management skills, that's why Arsenal has ended up in the current situation that it is in.
Let me give my take on the Xhaka issue, because people have been going nuts on Twitter and so many people have contrasting opinions. For me, this is how I think about it. One, Xhaka has been subjected to some serious abuse over time at Arsenal. Well, I mean, he has been poor. And I keep saying Xhaka has been poor. That's not excusable. That's not, you can't miss that. It's open for everyone to see. But besides all that, besides his weaknesses and him being poor, the coaches still seem to prefer to pick him, right? So for me, I'm like, if he's going to play, because, as far as we have absolutely no choice on who is going to start, on who is not going to start. The same for the players. He doesn't go to a coach and amwambia, we, leo lazima nicheze, ama nitakuvunja after game. Hakunanga story kaa hiyo. So if he's picked in, game out, then the least we can do is try and get the best out of him. Because we know his weaknesses, right? Yeah. But he has his strengths also. Yeah. So try and get his strengths the best way possible. But every time the coach plays him, and especially this season, he plays him alone as a CDM. Xhaka as a CDM is the worst CDM ever. So if you're going to play him in that position, play him alongside Torreira. And this is what sucks most, in my opinion. The fact that Xhaka plays alone as a CDM, in the last season, alikuwa acheza alongside Torreira, and he was good. That partnership was working. And it's the same coach who was playing that partnership last season. So this season, nini change? Now that we are seeing Xhaka is a sole CDM, and Torreira is not playing at all. And we know the two, when you play Xhaka alongside Torreira, you get the best out of Xhaka.
It's very funny, because this season, Unai has been changing his approach to games. For instance, you might find in the game against, this game that you played 4-3-3, I think it was against Tottenham, right? It was Xhaka, Torreira and Guendouzi, right?
Is it Tottenham? Is that how we started against Tottenham? I can't remember. As in, he's changed so much.
He has been changing. There's a game that you played 4-4-2 Diamond. So I think the thing that has been bringing about these issues is the addition of Pepe into the squad. Because, Unai wants to play the three of them, right? When you play the three of them, that is Pepe, Aubameyang and Lacazette. It now brings up an issue in midfield because now he can play with a number 10, for instance.
Why?
The three of them there will, for instance, if you play with a number 10 with the three of them, Lacazette, Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe.
Yeah.
Come to the midfield. Those are already 3 up front players.
Yes.
You play with a 10, it means you play 4 4-2-3-1, right? Because
Yes.
you have two players.
And that's
in
the best
midfield.
formation for Arsenal.
Now the issue is, these two wide players, Aubameyang and Pepe, it brings about an issue in balance, the balance of the team, because the two of them will have to do, when you're playing 4-2-3-1, you have to do defensive work, a lot of it,
They have to.
which is if you look at their profile as players, it's very hard for them to do that defensive work
They're not
week
that
in,
good.
week out. They're not that good.
That's
You
why.
get the point?
That's why when the 4-2-3-1, that two,
It makes one of them, it means one of them will be out of the game. One of the three.
one of the three.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I think as an Arsenal fan. A 4-2-3-1 is our best formation. And maybe that's why Nani doesn't play Ozil much. Because if you play the three, the two guys on the wing, that is most likely will be Aubameyang and Pepe. They're not the best tracking back. Well,
Exactly.
they try, but
But they are not the best.
They are not the
It
best.
means your guys will be
But
exposed. And McHugh,
who are the wingers who are good at tracking back?
now you'll have to play one who is good and one. I think Willock is one who was playing. There's a game Willock played as
As a winger.
right? If I'm not wrong, Willock, Xhaka, and I think it was Aubameyang. If I'm not wrong. But the issue is, Arsenal as a team lacks that balance.
For me, this is how he can find the balance. He needs those guys to be creative. So the two guys who play in the midfield need to be as combative as possible.
Now that's the point. You know, when he plays the three guys in midfield, the point is those midfield players, those are the guys who give you balance. Guendouzi, Xhaka, Torreira. You play them as a three combined. That's how you find your balance. Because your attacking players, your
They don't track
CAM,
back.
your wingers, they don't give your team balance. It's not like Chelsea where you have Willian, who is always tracking back, covering acres of space, defending, and he's also attacking. You get the point? So the only
Let me tell you, let me cut you short, sorry. Pepe was the highest tackling player in a Crystal Palace game. He had the most tackles in that game combined for the two teams. Pepe.
But tackling is one thing. What was he tackling? In which position, for instance? Which area of the pitch?
He definitely cannot be tackling when he's dribbling.
He could be doing it there on your
He
pressing.
cannot be tackling when he's dribbling because up front he's dribbling. And he was not even, was he the highest dribbler? Yes, he was the highest
Obviously,
dribbler. He
maybe
was the highest dribbler.
Zaha or...
He was the highest dribbler and he was the highest tackler
yeah.
in that pitch for
But
both
that doesn't
teams.
make him so good in terms of giving
So
balance to the team.
tracking back when he plays alongside guys like Nami ndio anaisist tena. If you have those guys, the two guys you play in the mid ndio ukwe 4-2-3-1, that two there has to be guys who are very active in the pitch, moving
Perfect.
up and down, very combative,
What
very
about these
defensive.
wingers? The two wingers, left and right.
What about them?
Yeah, they have to be very good in the defensive phase of the game.
You know, when they are not very good, hiyo kitu inakuwa covered by the two combative midfielders I'm talking about.
And in the central position, your number 10 will come
Sasa
in
huyo
there.
number 10 sasa ndio tunapea Ozil ama
Which means he's worse in terms of defending.
he will have to track back now. Well, he was doing that
Which he
against
can.
and even press up front. He was doing that against well, he was not doing that much, but he did that against
But he's so
Liverpool.
weak.
Itabidi put up the step up
So
or step out.
unaona pale kuna issue kwa coach. Imagine you're the coach, you're Unai, set up that team.
I think for me the coach is first of all he has no clear system of how he wants to play.
He changes,
or he just
he
thinks these
changes
guys are
a lot.
Yeah, he just thinks these guys are going to let him down.
Yeah.
So he keeps on changing.
Yeah.
Which again, as a coach, you make out 18 months. Surely you have to have a system of a certain gameplay or something.
For me, the best thing would be to have the three guys play. Guendouzi, Xhaka and Torreira.
Then
Which means, your issue is this. You sold Ramsey and didn't replace him. Because Ramsey was a box-to-box. He'll contribute defensively and then he'll get into the box, score. Right?
Basi afanye hivi ama hata ajaribu kucheza. Unajua
This one you don't have Ramsey.
shida una Emery, well, you jaribu but vitu za you jaribu more often than not words make sense.
So it means-
Sijaribu acheze hata Guendouzi as number 10.
No, Guendouzi can't work as a number 10.
No, of course as a number 10, he'll press forward because he does that. He loves moving the ball forward. He'll also move the ball from deep coming to the attacking to the opposition's box.
For me, I think Guendouzi is a midfielder, a very good midfielder,
Yes.
all-round midfielder.
Yes.
Moves, he's covering all
Yeah.
spaces, can see a pass, he can defend, he can tackle.
Unajua shida-
But as a 10, it's very hard
Shida
for him to play as a 10.
Emery anaweka Torreira, Guendouzi na Xhaka, alafu anaweka Torreira as a high pressing midfielder huko mbele.
No, he said this. He said that Torreira is good. He has attributes. For instance, you saw the goal he scored against Liverpool.
Yes.
He's good at getting to the box. So he's playing him in quote unquote, as a box-to-box midfielder.
Which
because he can run, Xhaka cannot do that.
He's our best defensive midfielder.
Guendouzi, on the other hand, is a guy who likes to be on the ball. Move with the ball, pass. You get that point?
Yes.
But Guendouzi, running and getting to the box without the ball.
Without the ball,
I haven't seen him do that.
But Torreira again comes back to the issue that Torreira is our best defensive midfielder.
So your primary issue right now is because you sold Ramsey and didn't replace him. Remember the number of games he played last season? I think you almost won all of them when Ramsey was on the pitch.
Was in action.
Yeah,
he was a very good.
The moment that he was injured last season, your season went downhill. You remember that? Since he stopped playing. From that moment, Arsenal was just losing, drawing. So I think that's the main issue. That's why it's very hard for him to set up that team in a way the fans would like to see, because the balance is
and you've been a semanga, like whichever setup the coach uses. Okay, first of all, there's the way a club plays, so try and make sure you maintain that. If you don't maintain it, whichever you bring on board have results.
But the point is,
have wins.
The issue now is this. That's what I'm talking about, balance. You people have been conceding goals. You're leading, concede. Watford leading, concede, right? I think it was Sheffield United beat you, right?
Yeah, they beat us.
Crystal Palace, you are leading, you lose.
We lost, yeah.
Liverpool again, you are leading, you lose. So what does that tell you? There's an issue in terms of balance because
defensively.
Yeah, exactly.
Defensively, we are wanting.
That's why when you tell me that you're going to play 4-2-3-1, I ask, what about these two wingers? Will they be able to help defense? Because Unai likes to tell his fullbacks to go and attack.
To press forward.
Exactly.
But we have the two defensive midfielders here. We have Torreira and Xhaka.
Torreira and Xhaka. Then that means you'll be short in midfield, right?
We will not. How will we be short?
Because you'll be playing with a 10 who is more much involved up front than
we need now a 10
who
can do both things. A 10 for me should not be a guy who's mostly involved in tracking back or pressing back and helping us defensively.
That is very correct.
So that guy, he should be more involved in the attacking positions, forward positions.
Exactly.
So what's up with Ozil being our number 10 and not having to press back? See, that can happen.
You'll be short. That's what I'm saying, that you'll be short in terms when it comes to the defensive phase.
But you have the two defensive midfielders.
You know, the thing you're forgetting is that the Premier League it has a very high intensity, right?
Yes.
Ozil, if you tell me that Ozil playing 90 minutes,
of course,
in that intensity.
Plus he's what, 31?
Ceballos, the other guy who can play the 10, he's the same type of player.
He's sluggish as fuck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's only good on the ball. He's on the ball. Play, pass, shoot. It's perfect.
But I think for me, Ceballos has the potential, but clearly he's not.
He has to adapt to a very great extent.
And as I did, Budata only missed penalty juicy.
Okay,
I think his confidence is super low.
Okay, people miss penalties, but when you check the league contextually, Ceballos has to up his game in terms of without the ball, pressing, tackling, such attributes.
Yeah.
But because he's so good on the ball. So for me, the issue with Arsenal is the lack of balance in the team. Because whichever way you try to set it up, you'll always find there's an issue which is making you concede goals. Because when you check the system, Unai wants the fullbacks, whether it's Kolasinac and Bellerin, to move forward so that you can create. If these two guys don't do that, Arsenal can create.
I think that's why he was playing with the 3 at the back.
If he maybe tries to play the 3 at the back, that's another dimension.
That's another dimension.
Exactly.
Now you play with the 3 at the back, then maybe one of Aubameyang or Lacazette is going to have to miss out and sit out.
But he can try that against Wolves.
Yeah.
Because the Wolves are very.
But that's what the coaches are paid to do. Hiyo inafaa kuwa conundrum ya coach. Like when ndio nasema bottom line, whatever system you put up, bottom line ni ipatupatie wins. Period.
And but the other thing that we're forgetting is that this system that Unai uses, it's so much dependent on individuals. If Aubameyang doesn't
rather than
score,
teamwork.
Exactly. If Aubameyang doesn't score, who will score? If Lacazette doesn't up his game, who will score? You see that aspect in the game against the Crystal Palace. Imagine your 3 goals were scored by I think defenders. Luis.
Yeah.
The other guy who scored was
Socrates scored
twice. He scored twice. So you see why the issue is. The midfield players didn't contribute anything in that game. Okay, they played, but in terms of goals.
I'll disagree with that because people are saying Aubameyang did not get any service, Lacazette did not get any service during that game.
They get the service, It's not that they didn't get service. They did.
Especially that game. Because people are saying, all right, we scored all the goals via free kicks. No, via
set pieces.
Yeah.
Corners.
No goal from open play.
Exactly.
Trying to mean that our strikers did not get any service.
They did, yeah, but
Well, of course, Ka Ozil Ayuko, they don't get a lot of service.
Exactly.
But they still do get service.
They still do get service because those balls from the wing will come.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not even that, Jumseka Lacazette hiyo game alikuwa na 5 shots. He was the highest guy who had the most shots
in fact,
that
I
game.
remember that save by the Crystal Palace keeper.
5 shots. Aubameyang, I don't even think he had a shot. So it can be that this for those guys who were saying that Aubameyang did not get any service. Are you trying to say like the players just isolated Aubameyang and gave all the ball to Lacazette?
No, I think it's because Aubameyang was playing in the wing. Usually when he's playing
Actually,
in the
that
wing,
game we were playing a 4-4-2.
4-4-2.
Yes.
But usually
Aubameyang,
he drifts.
yeah, he was drifting to the wing
usually
much
he drifts
more.
to the wing much more. So Lacazette is a guy there who will get those chances.
And what did he do when he got the ball at the wing? Aubameyang.
Then,
he didn't do nothing.
I think we will need a tactical analysis of that game.
You know, actually, I was looking at whoscored.com, and the lowest rated player in that whole match combined for the two teams was Aubameyang.
But I think that's
He
the
had a
issue.
6.1.
I think he prefers playing in the middle.
He prefers-
But when Lacazette is going to play, then he has to play on the wing.
Hiyo ni conundrum coach. I don't know how he's going to solve that.
Yeah, you
because
see now.
Those guys.
There's an issue with the team itself, the team profile itself, of which you still blame the manager because he knew during the summer that we have this and this and these issues. You could see them last season. And now they're coming in this season, right? So you can give an excuse that when you let Ramsey go and you bring in Ceballos, that it's a solution. No, it's not a solution. You made your team weak in one department, exactly in midfield.
Yes.
So you see, it adds more problems. You can bring in Luis and say that you solved the solution, defensive issues.
Yes.
And they're still there because Luis is not the best.
He's still giving away penalties.
Yeah, and again, he's still missing balls in the air. You get? So I think it's the manager, first of all, is the issue. The system is the issue. Then the team itself
is the issue.
Yeah.
But I think for me, the buck stops with the manager.
Exactly.
That's why for me, he has been disappointing. He has not found a style of play.
That's why I don't find the logic of, for instance, buying Pepe for 70+ million, concentrating all your resources on that player. Yet there are other areas
we
in the
bought
team.
Saliba.
And
although
then
he
loaned
took him
him out.
back. Yeah.
What is the wisdom?
That's
See, the issues, they are fun issues. So the club itself has so many issues to solve.
Transition period again, a very confusing one.
It's confusing.
It's a very confusing period.
Exactly.
All right. So let's say Arsenal versus Wolves. Wolves have been very good. They beat Man City at Etihad. Walitupatia shida sana last time we played them against. We played them at Emirates. They were a very troublesome team. We drew. Luckily, we drew because they scored fast.
Yeah, and then
so what do you think is going to be the scoreline here? If you had to make a prediction.
The thing with Arsenal is this, that Aubameyang has to have a very good day for Arsenal to win a match.
Yes.
Score one, then maybe one of the other defenders or maybe the midfielders will score another,
something,
right? If he doesn't score, Arsenal gets it hard to win a match. So for me, if Aubameyang doesn't get the spaces again to run into, because Aubameyang is the type of player who likes running into channels, running into spaces, so that he can finish. Or if he makes a run, he expects that his midfielders will see that run and pass him the ball so that he can finish. You see that type of player, that's his style of play.
Yes.
So against Wolves, I don't see
that happening.
It's very hard because Wolves sit back, they are compact, they are 3 defenders, don't get out. They have also a CDM who is very defensive, you know.
They have Traore who's super fast.
Then they have Traore who is very dangerous, especially when they are
and the Jimenez.
Exactly.
They have quite a number of guys who are good.
And Jota.
And Diogo Jota.
So you see, in that match, then I think it will be very difficult for Arsenal, even if you are at home. So for me, I would also go for a draw in that match.
Draw. Yeah. I think for me, this is the time that guys like Lacazette need to stand up and be counted because they have been heavily relying on Aubameyang. I think Lacazette now is back, he's fully fit. So in your time, Anafa and Kuwa counted as an Arsenal striker. Alongside guys like Pepe, they need to do more. They need to stand up and be counted, do something for the club. Can they do that against Wolves? That's the big question. And for me, I'll be looking out for a guy like Lacazette. Because
he's the guy who is supposed to stand up in that game.
Now, it's his time now.
There will be no spaces to play into.
Yeah.
So he's the guy who is very suited to play in matches where there are no spaces. You know, he's good in turning, you know, shooting. Perfect for him.
Tricky game. It's going to be tight. As an Arsenal fan, there is no way I can say Arsenal is going to take an L.
Don't have that connection. Be objective.
Let me be objective. First things first. If we lose our next 2 games, tukienda international break, Emery anaweza enda home. So whatever he does, the next 2 games, achana Europa, the next 2 games have to be as crucial as possible for him, and they don't get bigger than this. Juni Wolves and Leicester. So whatever he does tomorrow, we have to take a win.
Don't forget the issues that have been there, non-football issues.
Non-football
Shaka,
issues also.
yeah, you know those
Ozil.
issues. Exactly.
I'm going for a 2-1 win for Arsenal.
That is
3-2. I'm going for a 3-2 win for Arsenal.
Okay, I wish you all the best. But for me,
3-2
I
win
think
for Arsenal.
the best thing that Arsenal can do is draw. And if you play poorly, then you will be beaten by Wolves.
Na tumeongea sana kuhusu Arsenal.
Because that's where the media will be looking at Arsenal.
Yeah,
Not another
everybody.
team. Everyone is looking at Arsenal.
Everybody will be looking at
The
Arsenal.
outcome of that match, it will make stories.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
move on to another game that is being played at the same time, 6 o'clock. Aston Villa hosting Liverpool. Aston Villa wamekuwa very good. I think they have been playing very good football. They beat, which team were they playing with on the Carabao Cup match? Walikuwa wacheza team gani? Kuna timu walikuwa wacheza nao walipiga. But they have been, basically they have been good overall in the Premier League. They are what? They are number 15 in the Premier League. Okay, they've been good, but number 15. Against Liverpool side, do you see them standing a chance?
I don't.
Because I
think,
don't.
I don't think they'll stand a chance because of quality. There's
Yeah.
the difference between because in terms of the system and the style of play,
Yeah.
it's very good for the Premier League. But quality-wise, that's where the difference stands.
That's where the difference will be.
So for me, I don't give them a chance. I think Liverpool will win the match.
What do you think will be the scoreline?
Scoreline, let's say 1-3.
1-3.
Yeah.
Weird. I would also say the same. I would say a 3-1 win for Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think Aston Villa watafunga because wamekuwa wakijaribu kucheza poa. Walisumbua
Scoring
Tottenham.
yeah, exactly. Scoring for them is
Yeah.
it's very easy for them to score.
They are a good side at Akaka 15th, but
Yeah.
I think they will take an L. 3-1 in favor of Liverpool. Another game at 6 o'clock. This one is going to be tight. Brighton and Hove Albion versus Norwich City.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen here? The two teams have been absolutely poor. Well, of course, Norwich have been poorer of the two.
Yeah.
Brighton they are doing fairly good. They are 14th in the Premier League. What do you think is going to be happening here?
When I check both teams, I think there are teams who have
Brighton kumbuka walikula Everton 3-2 last weekend.
exactly. In fact, it was scored at the death, 95th minute. So for me, both teams, Brighton, since they changed their manager, they have been trying to play more with the ball.
Yes.
Exactly.
Let me actually just word on that. It's very true because nilikuwa cheki Premier League they walitoa start the most passes made by a team. Brighton is in the top 5.
In fact, do you remember the other goal they scored against Everton?
Yeah.
It was a move from the goalkeeper
All the way to the
all the way to the goal.
Yeah.
You get?
Wow.
So they are very good on the ball. I think it's a change in the system and philosophy.
And it's
based
working.
on the manager. It's working for them, by the way.
Yeah.
Norwich is also another team that likes to play with the ball. Very, very, very much. In fact, the issue when I watched the game against Man U, the issue was that they were not confident enough to approach that Manchester United box.
Yeah.
But when they are playing from their own half, they are perfect. You try to press them, they escape that press.
Yes.
With 1-2 combinations of 3 guys or 2 guys. You know those triangles in the
Yes.
pitch. So for me, I think this is a game that I think Norwich can win easily. Very
They
easily.
should be looking to win this one.
Yeah. So for me, I think Norwich will win the game.
What do you think will be the scoreline?
A scoreline, maybe like a 2-3 scoreline.
2-3.
Yeah,
In
because
favor of Norwich.
I don't think any team will approach that match with a defensive mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they know Norwich thinks can beat Brighton.
Yeah.
Brighton thinks can beat Norwich.
Yeah.
So that's an open match. They are good with the ball.
So mzee anataka niweze clear GG hapo.
Yeah, kabisa.
Na itaingia.
Yeah.
I would say for me I would give my final say on this one is a 2-2 draw.
Okay, sure. It's very possible by the way.
Then at 6 o'clock we also have City versus Southampton, the game that was going down in the Carabao Cup.
Exactly.
But they were away.
Yep. So in such a match, you know, when you play a quality side like City and you play them twice or thrice,
Yeah.
you expect that by the second and third match,
Yeah.
then you lose. You may draw the first match, but the second and third match, because quality-wise, Man City is on another level.
Totally.
Totally. And then the manager himself is a guy who knows football. He's so intelligent. So if he faces you the first time, he sees what you did in that match. You know, they analyze those matches and, you know, tactically and what have you.
True.
The second match, it will be different. Use different players, use different tactics. So for me, Southampton don't stand a chance at all.
They don't.
Unless things happen, you know, football things happen.
Yeah.
But
beating City City right now are 6 points behind Liverpool. There is no chance they're adding that gap.
True.
No chance in hell.
Yeah.
Soton wako deep in the relegation zone. They are what? They are, I think, 18th.
18. Their best chance there is to defend for their lives.
Yeah, and
that's their best chance.
And the last thing you can, the one thing that you can be almost sure you won't succeed in doing is defending at Etihad.
You see, okay, who's scared? But a team like Southampton, you check the players, the caliber of players. If you're going to let them defend for 90 minutes and not consider a goal, it's very hard.
Do you know these guys when they conceded 9, they walipeana wages a day. They gave their 1 day wages to, is it to charity?
Charity.
Yeah, to charity because of every staff of Southampton, because of how they were badly beaten by...
Maybe that is in their contract.
By Leicester. I think it's something that's just agreed between the board. Like, yo, tumepigwa sana. Hii ni aibu kubwa. You got to shelve your day wages and give it to charity because that was embarrassing. 9-0.
The best solution is to sack the manager. A lot of
Hassan
ideas.
Hato. You know Hassan Hato, when he came through, he seemed like a decent coach. He was from Leipzig. He was previously a Red Bull Leipzig coach. Na alifanya poa akiwa huko. Huko sijui ni aje.
I think it's all players and then they didn't buy right. That's the issue.
I think defensively he has the biggest of issues. What do you think will be the scoreline here?
I think another 3-0.
3-0 for City.
Yeah.
I would say...
Or a minimum 3 goals for me.
For me, I will go with a 4-1 win for City. I think they are going to run rampant on these guys.
Because by there, I'm telling you, maybe the issue is maybe the transfer. For instance, they bought... They sold Lemina, he was there.
Yeah, Lemina was a good midfielder.
Yeah, they sold several guys. And did they buy?
They bought some guys, but they Akina Adams, guys who seemed like they would do something for the club. They haven't done shit.
So for me, they're just weak.
I don't see Southampton standing a chance here. All right, the next one is a very interesting game. At 6 o'clock also, we have Sheffield versus Burnley.
Now that
I think it's two of the most defensive teams in the Premier League.
That's I would call it what derby? The derby, the typical English football derby.
Yeah.
Because
long ball.
They play long balls
and crosses and
they are so physical.
Physical
crosses. The only way of scoring for instance is through crosses.
Yes.
If they don't cross, you don't expect Sheffield United scoring or Burnley. So I think it's a typical English derby.
It's going to be interesting because Sheffield are playing at home. Bramall Lane, the only team that has won at Bramall Lane, is Leicester.
Leicester.
It's the only team that has won at Bramall Lane. Sheffield, I think they have only lost once at home.
At home?
Yes.
But
so they've been very good. Burnley side, on the other hand, I don't know.
I think they've lost twice.
They've lost twice.
Soton and Leicester. They've lost thrice.
Soton walipiga watu huko?
Yep. 1-0.
Wow. That must have been huge for Southampton.
Very, very huge.
Yeah, so they have lost 3 times.
Yeah.
Burnley, is it going to do the same? I don't know if the legs of Ashley Barnes are still there because I think Burnley are more gifted than Sheffield in terms of attacking wise. They have guys who are more clinical. I'm talking Chris Wood, I'm talking Ashley Barnes. They've been very good. Goodmanson, I don't think he's back yet. Yeah. So itakuwa tricky, man.
For me, when I check Sheffield United, it's a team that can handle Burnley very well.
Yeah. Physicality, because that's how,
in the air, in all departments. These two teams, they match each other. The only thing that can cause a problem for Burnley is the formation. These guys play the 3-5-2 formation.
Yeah.
And then they have this idea of overlapping full defenders.
Even centre backs.
Centre backs. Yeah. You see those guys overlap. The right centre back and the left.
Yeah.
They overlap. Mm-hmm. So I think that could cause Burnley some issues. But generally, the two teams are set
almost at
equal strength. They're at par. So I would go with a draw, a 1-1 draw.
I would also go with a 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
Sheffield United versus Burnley. Then the last game at 6 o'clock, of course, it's not the last, but the one we'll be talking about is West Ham versus Newcastle United. Now West Ham, they've been doing good. They are 10th, the Premier League. Newcastle are 17th, almost above the relegation zone, which of course it's too early to talk about. But what do you think is going to happen here?
I'll give West Ham a win.
West Ham a win?
Yeah, because I don't expect Newcastle to approach this match. Newcastle has this tendency of approaching matches in a very defensive way.
Yeah.
Defend, counter. But now it's because it's West Ham, and you check the team profile, they stand a chance. They can win. It's a match that they can win.
Yeah.
It's very winnable for Newcastle. So, bearing that in mind, Newcastle has a better quality. Newcastle, the style is they're much more on the ball, unlike Newcastle. So for me, West Ham
will take it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be another interesting game because both teams, attacking-wise, I think they are good. We have not seen much of Joe Linton lately.
Yeah.
One guy who keeps missing chances and I keep looking out for him and doesn't come through for Newcastle is Miguel Almiron.
He's Almiron. This
He
is a
seems
quick
like
guy.
a very
He's very fast.
fast, but he never
In terms
does.
of chances, I think he's just a creator. You know, there are guys who are
He's
so
not
good.
that clinical, but
Yeah.
he gets himself in very good chances,
Very
scoring
good
chances.
positions to score.
Yeah, but he never does.
You know, there are things you can give a player. For instance, finishing. If
Yeah.
someone is poor, he's just poor. Unless
It's
these
just
open
within
nets.
him or it isn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But in terms of creating, attacking, running into spaces, channels, you see, there you're saying that he's good in positioning himself.
Yes.
But then the final ball, finishing that ball, is the issue.
Is the
So
problem.
I think if the manager can find a way in which he can maybe make sure that Almiron is maybe in a good area to score, but at the same time he has the support of Joel Linton.
Yeah.
Because Joel Linton is a good finisher.
Yes.
And just pass to Joel Linton,
Yeah.
finish. But now with their style, they play with a back five or a back three. It's very hard. They'll have either to counter or maybe score from set pieces.
I think it's going to be a very interesting game. West Ham moving forward, they have been quite good this season, but they also
They are flattered a bit. The
kidogo
last
pia
time
wako
matches.
pia wakwangi that convincing. Nakumbuka kuna time walipigwa
London
draw
Stadium.
na sijui ilikuwa Crystal Palace waliwakujia ikatoka
Yeah, the derby
2-2.
derby match. 2-2.
Yeah. So Newcastle may be thinking like, you know what, maybe you have a chance here. For me, I would say a 2-1 win for West Ham.
Oh. Okay, fine. Yeah,
You?
sure.
Scoring?
Scoring. I think a 3-0.
For West Ham.
Yeah.
Wow. That's huge. You don't give Newcastle a chance at all.
Not at all.
Okay. Then the last game on Saturday is between Watford and Chelsea. His team, London Derby. Tell me about this one.
This is a very hard match for me. You know why? Because first of all, we are playing away.
Yes.
Then you have a Champions League match coming up, which is
Against
much
Ajax.
more important.
You have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, which is very, very important because that's a match that you're not supposed to lose.
I think when you are playing Man United, Lampard must have been thinking about these two games.
Exactly, that's why he rested players.
The Watford game and the
In
coming up
fact,
Champions League.
after his press conference, he said you have to look at the bigger picture. We are competing in other competitions that are of more value.
Yes.
You get? Okay, losing, it's not that you're justifying losing, but as a manager too, you have to consider that, which it's very justifiable.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying it's hard because one, we're playing away. Then Watford have a new manager. And you know that new manager effect on players.
Yes.
Right?
But amekaka sasa.
But you see, for instance, since
He still
came
hasn't
on,
won anything though.
he still hasn't won, but he has been drawing.
Yes. It's nil.
He only lost in the Carabao Cup, and obviously he played Team B.
Yeah.
So it means that first team, it's drawing, and against good opposition, Tottenham, Sheffield.
Tottenham wenye walinyimwa mabao
Bournemouth.
na VAR.
There was an issue with VAR. VAR
Yeah.
has so many controversies.
Na bo sasa.
Yeah. But either way, I don't know how he'll approach the match because he can play a back three or back four.
Yeah.
I don't know who will start. It's very hard. There will be going to be changes, but I'm sure Willian must start because he didn't play.
Pulisic.
Pulisic, maybe he might or not. It's very hard. I don't know. But I'll give Chelsea a win because of the quality. Not
Because of the
because I'm
quality.
sure of the tactical approach of the manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, because also I am not sure about the tactical approach of the Watford manager.
Watford manager.
Yeah, so...
Plus,
yeah.
of course, above everything else, it's a derby.
Yeah, it's a derby.
Yeah. Watford is a team from London.
From London. Huh?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's why it makes it hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a very interesting one.
Yeah.
For me, I think Chelsea has the quality, better quality than
Exactly.
Watford. Watford, on the other hand, they will be thinking like, we've been creating chances, but they have just not been scoring them. Against the previous team they were playing with last weekend, walikuwa wacheza na nani Watford? Bournemouth. 0-0, but they created a lot of chances. They just didn't convert them. Guys like De La Feu will be thinking they can have maybe a go at Chelsea. But I still think you're going to win that 1-2-1.
The same case, 1-2.
1-2 in favor of Chelsea.
Yeah.
All right. So those are the Saturday games. That's how we think what is going to happen. Of course, if you have different opinions, you can of course drop them on the comment section. Tuone unafilaje. Then we look back at it on Monday and see what went wrong or what did not happen. So on Sunday we have two matches. First one, I think, for me, I think this is a game of the match of the game week. You know, the biggest game of game week 11, if you ask me. Crystal Palace versus Leicester, two teams that have been absolutely brilliant this season. Leicester have been prolific; they are third in the Premier League. Crystal Palace are sixth. Can you imagine that? Crystal Palace were sixth in the Premier League.
But you know, they have been doing
More
well
than
since
10
last
games.
season.
Oh yeah. I should not be surprised.
They ended on a very high note. Since the second half, from January, I think February.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace were brilliant. That's why we had all that talk about Zaha going to.
And that's why they held on to him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because without Zaha, then they're a different team.
True.
Yeah. So this match is, I think, the hardest, like you said.
This one, right?
Yeah. Because these two teams, they have the belief, and then they're also fighting to make sure that they don't drop out of the top 6.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So Crystal Palace, the difference is Zaha. Leicester, it's the team itself. It's a very balanced team. Yeah. It's a very good team. I think it's the best team after Liverpool.
If you had to pick like individual players, at Palace, maybe just pick one. At Leicester, you pick quite a number.
Yeah, quite a number. For Jose Perez, Vardy, Maddison. So
Tielemans.
Yeah, Tielemans. I think it's the best team for me, in the league after Liverpool. So when I analyze Crystal Palace, the way they play, usually they line up in a 4-4-2 formation.
Yes.
Or at times 4-3-3 when they have Schlapp in the lineup. So, and then we have Leicester, who are more or less playing 4-1-4-1 nowadays with Ndidi, and then maybe sometimes he plays with Barnes, Maddison, Perez, Damai Gray. It depends. He changes the team. Sometimes it's a 4-2-3-1, sometimes it's a 4-1-4-1. So for me, the two teams, they match each other so well, such that the game will be determined on moments in the game.
Yeah,
it's not about which team will express itself the best in terms of maybe tactics, but it's not about the team that will play the best football. It's about those moments. For instance, Zaha, when he gets in the box, how do you handle him?
Yes.
If you are attacking and then Vardy is running on goal, how do you handle it? Those moments, that is what will determine this game.
And you see Palace is a team that can hold you guys for almost 90 minutes.
Perfect,
they're not playing good football, but they're not doing anything.
Exactly.
Because they're just holding you back. Then just out of nowhere, Zaha might get a break and he goes like
that. For instance, after you people scored, Arsenal scored the 2 goals. I asked a guy that were watching it there, how come you guys are no longer attacking? What's up? You're satisfied with the 2 goals?
Yeah.
These guys will come back. And they didn't seem as if they were playing or as if they were dominant.
Yeah.
But you see they scored 2 goals.
But the opposition is not doing anything.
Exactly, that's the point. So that's why this game is very hard.
And then they have Milivojevic,
who is always called penalties.
This dude is converting penalties. Niliona record yake amefunga sijui ni 23 penalties out of 25 ama 26.
I think he has only missed one. If I'm not wrong, I think he has only missed one.
Unachezanga FPL?
Yeah, I do.
Wasa FPL wanakula mapoints sana na Luka.
The issue is the frequency of the penalties.
Yeah, now that's the problem.
That's the issue,
but you can see like Palace, every time they have Zaha, you can almost bet watapata penalty.
Every 3 games will have 1 penalty, right?
More often than not.
Yeah, that's very true. So
interesting game, a very interesting game. One guy who for me has stood out for Crystal Palace this season is Jordan Ayew.
Yeah, that guy he has been brilliant. And he was in the Premier League before with, I think, Newcastle. Then he went to the Championship.
Ametembea?
Yeah.
Kotemadi alikuwa Swansea, wakiwa na bro yake.
Yeah, Swansea too. Then he came back to the Premier League. But I think this is the time he has matured and he's proving himself to be a very good striker.
Yeah, he's proving to be a very good guy.
Yeah.
So, what do you think is going to be the result of this game?
I would say this. Leicester is a very good team. And lately they have been flattering, scoring all manner of goals.
Yeah.
And the league is... it's not as predictable as people think. For instance, if a team is winning, the caliber of Leicester, that it win week in, week out.
We're going to goal difference is 17.
Because of the 9 goals.
Oh yeah, because of the third. But you can't take that away, can you?
You can, but that doesn't happen in football. So it's an anomaly. If you're analyzing it.
Yeah, it's an anomaly.
Yeah,
but in our party, a very huge boost.
It's a very huge boost. But if you check that in the data, then you think, what was this so? So that's why I'm saying it's good to. I think that they will win. So for me, and considering that they are away, I'll go with the Crystal Palace win.
What kind of win?
2-1 win.
2-1 win for Crystal Palace.
Or 1-0 win.
It's a big call.
The difference is a single goal.
A single goal, yeah. Wow, this is gonna be an interesting one. For me, I feel like opting out on this one. Like,
it's
gonna be tricky, man. The difference between these two teams in terms of points, well, it's 4 points, no, 5 points. Palace, Leicester. I don't want to say a Leicester win because wakianza kupiga Crystal Palace home wameenda.
I think the biggest
wameenda for me Leicester watashikwa tena.
The biggest you know that thing we call the Achilles heel is overconfidence. Leicester, you know, they can have that bit of overconfidence.
But you see, on the flip side, these are guys who have won the Premier League. There are guys in there,
but it's a different team.
But there are guys like Vardy who have won the Premier League.
Sure.
Wes Morgan has won the Premier League.
But he's not there anymore.
But those two guys are very key guys in that squad. Christian Fuchs has won the Premier League.
Yeah, but for me, if they approach the match being
Let me ask you a very good question. Do you think Leicester will make it to the top 4?
It's a do or die until the last game of the season.
Right now, do you think they will? Nitakuja kukuuliza hii tukiwa maybe game week 37. Ulisema Leicester wanaingia top 4 tukiwa game week 11.
The biggest advantage is they're not competing in the European
matches, yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that's the biggest advantage. And they have a very good team.
So,
but again, they have never done it before. So they'll have to prove.
They have won the Premier League.
With a different team.
But now the core guys in that team though are still there.
The core guys, no, they're not there.
Okay, Kina Kante walienda, Mahrez.
I think a lot of guys from that team
You could say like 3-4 guys are the only ones who are remaining there.
If you're talking about that, let's confirm. No, because the keeper was there, right? Wes Morgan, Fuchs. John Evans wasn't, right?
John Evans wasn't.
Was Chilwell there?
Who?
Chilwell.
Chilwell was.
He was there?
Yes.
So, and
but
then
he was not that key.
I don't think he was key. There was Brighton was there, right?
Yes.
And after that, I don't see another guy who was there.
Like four guys.
4 guys. So if you check the lineup, let's go with the lineup, the one that they've been fielding.
Yuri Telemans has been having a very good game.
He's a very good box-to-box midfielder. You know, he's a hard worker. Didi is perfect, but tackles.
Yes.
Shielding the back 4.
Maddison.
Perfect. Maddison attacking dead balls.
Yeah, unaona venye midfield yasi ni perfect yani.
It's balanced.
Wako na Ndidi and DM.
Yeah.
Wako na Telemans, who's a fantastic guy moving up and down with the ball.
Yeah.
Maddison is a fantastic number 10. And then they have Vardy.
Then they have Perez.
They have Perez on this other wing. They can put
in the team that was the team that won the league that time. I think the only guys who have been playing, who are there, is Ben Chilwell, the keeper, Vardy. I think only those 3 guys.
3 guys.
Yeah.
But they're very key guys.
But
in that squad.
Okay, in terms of the team as a whole, it's a very balanced team.
Very. Absolutely.
That's the point.
Yeah.
But my issue is that this team it has to prove itself. Perfect, they have a very good team.
Maybe wanaweza jiprove na kuingia top 4.
You know, the point is these guys are not so excellent. They're just average players, typical footballers who are good, who can make a climb from Leicester to a bigger team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but they have to prove themselves. So them getting into the top 4, they have a chance.
They have a chance. Do you think they will make it?
Yes, they can. But there's a but.
There's a but.
Yeah.
All right.
But they can because unless Tottenham continues flattering and joking around.
Yeah.
As an over you, I don't think you can make top 4.
You don't think we'll make the top 4? You can say about us perfectly, but you can't say the same about Leicester.
Yeah, Leicester is a better team. You know, that's the point.
So Leicester will definitely
unless
make
maybe
top 4.
you make a purchase in January, which you change the whole dimension of your team. Maybe 1 or 2 purchases.
See,
the point.
That's what I was telling some folks. Well, we can be talking highly about Leicester right now, but both, it's a long journey.
Exactly.
It's a very
There's
long
a window,
journey.
you know, where Man you can buy, Tottenham can buy, Arsenal can buy.
Yeah.
And in terms of quality, these 2 teams are better.
But let's just, let's just give credit where it's due.
Yeah.
Leicester have
now
been very good.
They have been very good.
They have a very good balance.
And I think they'll be very good, up until December.
Yeah.
Because the only matches that they have to commit themselves to are the league matches.
I think Leicester kwa zile game wamepata zile ni ngumu. Wamepata several.
Yeah,
but
Chelsea won.
Yeah. Where
we drew.
You drew?
Yeah, I think it was a 0-0 or 1-1.
Walipigwa na Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool beat them as a dead 2-1.
Then
they beat Tottenham.
They beat Tottenham?
Yeah, 2-1.
Now this other one versus Palace now. This is going to be another big test. Yeah. If they pass this one, then...
And they drew with Wolves.
I'll say for me, I'm going... I'll give Leicester a 2-1 win.
Okay, I'll give Crystal Palace a 2-1 win.
Perfect. You need to call make or do or die match for this prediction. Then the last one is Everton versus Tottenham. 2 teams that have been terrible. What do you think is going to happen here?
Tottenham has so many non-footballing problems. Because, first of all, these guys won the Champions League. They overachieved, if you are going to put it that way.
Yeah.
Right?
But they had a decent
they go to the Champions League final.
Yeah.
So in some way they overachieved. No one expected them. You know, remember they were in a very tough group in the Champions League last year.
They were.
Yes.
And very tough opponents too in the knockout rounds.
In all games, matches in the knockout round.
True.
Even in the final.
Yes.
Then again, these guys, you hear that the players are not paid well. Get the point? And they go to the Champions League final. Players in Leicester are paid much better than players. There's some players in the Tottenham squad.
Is it?
Yeah, true. They're on £50,000, 67,000.
Wages per week?
Yeah, per week. Go to Leicester, check the wage bill. It's so minimal. Yeah. There were guys who wanted to get out of the team. They wanted to go to other clubs.
Like Eriksen,
Danny Rose.
Highly talked about.
Danny Rose, even Aurea. Aurea said it. He said he wanted to get out of that team.
Sarge?
Yeah. You get? Then Tottenham sold their best right back, Trippier. They didn't replace him. Right? But they bought Tonge Dombele, who is very good.
Yes.
Right? Then you have Del Alli, who isn't performing. You remember Del Alli, there was a time he used to score goals.
He was fire, man.
But nowadays he's not performing. You see, Son has been their standout player with the Hurricane. But Son has been, I think, their standout player for me.
Yeah,
he has been
only that he has not really been converting as he did previously.
This season, they have Lamela, who hasn't been playing consistently. But this season he's playing
consistently and
many matches, you know.
Yeah,
he's not the type of guy that you'd rely on. He doesn't have that exceptionality about him like Son.
Yeah.
You see? So, again, I think this is what season? I think it's the 5th season for Pochettino or something.
Yeah, is it 5th or 6th? Yeah, around there.
But the point is, as a manager, it gets to a point where if you don't refresh your squad and you've been in a team for a long time, it's very hard to motivate the players.
Yeah.
Especially if some want to leave, you know. Some feel they're not paid well.
Yeah. Even for Pochettino, like last season, he went like a whole season without new players.
And he also claimed that if he wins the Champions League, he'll leave the team. You remember that statement? So you see, there are so many issues around there that are, for instance, we as fans might miss or not even know about.
Yeah.
It's only in the dressing room where they know.
Yeah.
So that's the issue with Tottenham. That's why it's underperforming. And
Everton
now is a team that bought, I would say, expensive players, but average players. Iwobi for one was bought at £40 million.
Yes, 40. That was a good part. That was a good sale by Arsenal.
Yeah, it was a good sale for you, but at that price, it was much expensive.
Yeah.
Whom else did they buy? They bought several players.
They bought Moise Kean from Juventus,
who is not proven. He was playing at Juventus. He'll get the chances there. Those guys will supply him and he'll score. Yeah. What about Everton? Will he get those chances? Similar type of chances like he got at
that's now the
Juventus.
question.
You see now, he'll have to adapt, which is very hard for him.
Yeah.
When you come to the Premier League, you have to be either you're good, exceptionally good, or either you adapt quickly and you adapt properly. Yeah. Otherwise, the media will bash you, everyone will bash you, and you'll end up leaving.
And even the flip side now of making those big patches for Everton is people expect results.
Exactly.
Because huwezi nunua say what and bado watu huko chini.
And you have to consider the mentality among these players, because Everton it has been a mid-table team
for a long time,
but it has bought well. So they have to make that climb from that middle team mentality to a top team mentality because of the type of players they have.
Yeah.
But it's not yet there.
Marco Silva, of course, anajiwekea pressure because they're not winning. I don't think their last 4 games, I think maybe after it's a 1 win, they've been getting L's after L's.
They either win 1-0, 2-1, or lose, or draw.
Or just get beat.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the issue.
So against Tottenham, playing at home against Tottenham side that is in the bottom half, watapata shit kweli?
Watapata, unajua kwa nini? Because if you look at like last season, I think after Wolves, they were second in terms of the team that took the most number of points against these top 4, top 6 teams. They beat you, they beat us, they beat Manchester United.
Oh, the last season,
remember?
Kisha,
last season again Kisha. And even before he answered Kisha, they started poorly.
Yeah.
But generally, they have, as a team, you look at it, they have that belief they can take something out of a big team.
Yeah.
See, and now this time around, they strengthened.
Can they do that against Tottenham?
They can, very well, especially because they are playing at home. Tottenham is struggling, and remember, Tottenham has a game in the Champions League against this Red Star Belgrade.
Oh, they're playing away now.
Away.
But waliua hiyo.
Waliua, lakini Red Star Belgrade huko kwao ni kubaya sana. Hiyo stadium ni kama Borussia. You know that stadium where, and then they're on 4 and 3 points. Red Star Belgrade in the Champions League group match.
They need to ascertain their position in that table.
Exactly. So it's a must win for them in the Champions League. And it's also a must win for them in the league, which is very tricky.
All right, so what do you think will happen?
For me, I would go with a draw because it's a must not lose game for both teams, Everton and Tottenham.
And Tottenham.
They would rather settle for a draw and then they'll solve those issues later. You know, it's the league, you have a chance again. But in terms of this match, Everton, sometimes they flatter. Tottenham are poor. So that's why I think for me it's a draw, 0-0 draw.
0-0.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like a whole 90 minutes bila bao.
Yeah.
Ukiona Hurricane.
Mbona asifunge? Atakosa kufunga.
Hii ni trick pia.
Yeah.
Games za Sunday ni tricky because, okay, for this one especially, these two teams, they need a win like yesterday. Everton Spurs.
It's a very hard match.
Very.
Very.
Hey, I think
Just give what you think.
I would say a 2-1 win for Tottenham.
Okay, fine. All the best.
2-1 win for Tottenham. Can't see even like a 2-2 draw.
It's very hard.
Any boom, man.
It's very hard.
Let me go for a 2-1 win for Tottenham.
Okay, sure.
I think they might just outdo Everton. Arakawa home. Very tricky game. Very tricky. But
There's
I'll
so
just
many
go for
factors
2-1
that
win.
play in this match, which makes it hard. I think it's harder than Crystal Palace and Leicester.
Yeah, it's harder
Yeah.
because waseka Tottenham lazima keep in mind your game.
Yeah,
Everton
exactly.
also on the other hand, they must avoid a beating.
Same case to Tottenham.
Yeah, same case with Tottenham.
Because if they are beaten, they drop again.
They drop now already wako bottom half, so they can't afford to be staying there. They
They'll-
need to be in the top 5, if
it's
not the top
serious.
4.
Yeah, because if you look at their points, Tottenham has 12 points. Number 17 has 9 points. So the difference is 3 points.
Question.
If they are beaten, and maybe Everton wins, for instance, goes above them.
It's gonna be crazy.
If Southampton can beat City. Newcastle is playing against
West Ham.
West Ham.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think they would win that match. But generally, they'll be in that mix of the relegation battle.
The relegation.
Yeah,
Newcastle,
then
sure.
now the media attention will turn to them.
Yeah, of course. All right, so that's it. That's how we think what's going to happen in game week 11 of the English Premier League. So if Monday you have different opinions, you can of course drop them in the comment section to one. What do you think? And also don't forget as always to like and subscribe so that we can be keeping you up to date and you can be getting first hand once these videos are out. And we're going to be getting more guys on board to be talking about football and more so the English Premier League because basically that's what we talk about. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic game week. Enjoy your weekend.